Sorry for stressing you. I apologize. So, are we ready? We can't start here too. It remains some heavy presence that are going to be joining us here. It's hot. Okay, no. It's hot, but it needs to be hotter. So, can we please also welcome with us here our very own, ever sumptuous, ever indefatigable Jermaine, Lavagacious, Fantalicious, Melasious, and Gargantuous, Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Apostle and Apostle Mrs. Reverend and Reverend Mrs. Bishop and Bishop. What do I title again? Yes. Evangelist and Evangelist Mrs. Israel and Anti-Progress Balogun. Hallelujah. Oh yeah. At the one you want to go on the day. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. It's wonderful time. You should go back. Okay, yeah. Okay, then you should sit down. So we will. So, we are about to, yes, let's have one more mic. My co-host. So, we are about to start. So, just to also bring you guys on par. So, we can. So, it's going to be more of a question and answer session, but we also take questions from the audience and also from our online viewers. It's just to drop your question as we progress. So we can have your question. So if you also have a question from the house reaction, just notify to pass the mic in and take your question. So maybe I should allow.
To welcome our guests into this service, and we want to learn from them, and I want us to be hopeful. Whatever questions it is we might have, we should be able to relate to them, and be sure that we will be speaking through God to answer some of the questions that we might have about the wedding day. So I would like to start from Pastor Emmanuel. The wedding day, Christian world. What should it entail and what should it not entail? No, what I mean is, I just want you to please quickly talk about the wedding day in Christendom. Just generally, we still have our questions back, but we just want you to just tell us if I ask somebody outside what does wedding day mean, they can tell you the day you do this, the day you do this, this is what it should be, this is what it should be. But in Christendom, what can you tell us about the wedding day?
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, yes, I can hear myself. All right. Okay, for believers, it's a major one because it's that particular time you stand before God with several witnesses. It's a time you stand before God and you make a vow. It's a time you stand before God. It's for me. It is from the from the introduction engagement. Is a spiritual exercise. It shouldn't be different from other days. But that day is more important because it is God you are standing before God, making your vows before several witnesses. It is a major one because it can't afford to. It's not something you should take. You know, like the people who pay attention to the white dress. It is important if you are doing it the right way, with the right understanding. But but just standing before God, the presence of several people is a major one. I don't want to really, really go down the line.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think I love that response too much. And I think we are starting on very right. So you mentioned that the time to stand before God in the presence of witnesses. So I think that would prompt our question for today. So I don't know, maybe I would like to direct to Pastor Israel. So there's a question here that says, is church wedding necessary? You know, we can stand before God anywhere. God is everywhere. God is in me, is with me, is by me, is before me, and back of me. In my room, everywhere. We always hear of church wedding, traditional wedding, court wedding. They like we are doing the wedding 3 times. The one for God the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. So, and which one is important? Which one necessary? Which one can? So, I just want us to have a light around that.
Thank you. Well, like I once shared in one of my sermons, if we are going to look in the direction of God, the one that is actually called wedding is the one conducted by servants of God. So, when you are joined by servants of God, whether it's in the church auditorium or the city room or the office, wherever, it's immaterial. But that the servants of God join you together in holy matrimony. So that's what we call wedding. So the traditional is neither a wedding according to the law of the land or the law of God. So in the Bible, it is called parental approval or parental consent. So it's actually culture that made it a type of wedding. Originally, it is not wedding. So you can't be given a certificate. You can't represent yourselves before God. You can't also represent yourselves before the government if all you did was the traditional. Because according to the government, you don't have a proof. The government has a certificate. So, and the church also has a place recognizing that certificate given by the government, because the church and the government are in partnership when it comes to conducting legal and formal marriage. So, but I would say that church wedding is the most important, and it's actually the real wedding. Every other one were just man's way of adopting what God has initiated.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I think that was very explicit. Very, very explicit. So, I think we have focused a little bit on wedding. So, but you focus wedding day. So, we like to now go into the wedding day now. And of course, to plan anything in this life, something is important. Can I have a question from the audience? Ye may go, botany go, money. This thing we call money is very, very important. So, our first question is someone is asking that as a man who has a lady that is caught, there is a plan to get married, obviously. But I think his major concern is saying that should I be thinking about wedding because I don't have a stable income? So, and I think let's know about the stable income. So it's possible that today there is 1 million today, next week maybe it's 100K. The next week maybe nothing at all, 10 naira. So the income is not stable. So the question is, can the person think about wedding? I would like to push the question, Pastor Emmanuel. So please help us shed more light on that.
Okay. It is well. Because what I would say is, in the first place, a guy that decides to engage a lady should know that the intention in the first place is for marriage. So if you have decided to engage the lady, of course, thoughts of marriage should cross your mind. However, if you then begin to think about your income as to the instability, okay, today this is it, tomorrow this is it. It's a different ball game entirely. But that the thought of marriage will not cross your mind is almost impossible, because the intention for that engagement in the first place is to end up in marriage. Then you could have a delay, maybe because of your own thought of, is this how I want to do it? But you know, as believers, as the case may be. So I am an example of such. For me, my wedding was delayed and prolonged based on this same Yemego concept. But you know, I got do I call it counsel from some of our leaders as to why you do not limit yourself to what you earn currently. And some of the analysis that was clearly given to me then, that gave me a clear conviction, was that if you look at what you make and look at what you spend, naturally, do they commensurate? Whatever you are making now is not exactly what you are actually spending to earn or to make a living. So you definitely will spend more. So you cannot really judge, you cannot really base your plans and everything on just your own income as of present. Yes, it's a factor, but you can't limit your thoughts to just your income. But you need to exercise some level of faith, trusting that that is not how or the limit at which you will sit or stay. And you know, some people will tell you that maybe it is when you marry that the money will come. I used to fault that analogy many a times, because they will even use scriptures to quote and tell you, Bible says he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. So when the emphasis comes on obtains favor, that's where someone, well, I used to fault it, but I think I am a clear example of it, because I know what it was for me before marriage, and I know what it is even now. Based on that time I was not a salary earner, I was just an hustler, as we call it, who cannot really determine my income. But you know, I took that step of faith, and today it is a happy story. I don't know if I answered that question.
First comment, another one. The married people.
Thank you for that, Pastor Emmanuel. I'd like to direct these questions to Reverend Mrs. Progress.
Please, before you move, maybe I want to add something to that. Maybe my wife too wants to say something. We talk about maturity before you talk about wedding. You know, the Bible says, therefore shall a man, like I always say, a man. So you need to know who is a man. So there are people of age, but they are still boys. So therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother. So if you have not gotten to the level of that manly maturity, then you are not qualified to say you want to marry. So, and when we say man, we are looking at emotional stability, emotional maturity. We are looking at financial maturity. We are looking at spiritual maturity. So there could be more, but these three are basic. So, are you matured enough that if your woman is crying, you will not join her to cry, but you will pay? You know, that's emotional control. So there must be emotional control, not damage. Then you look at the money aspect, is just about, do we have something to spend, even if it is not much, but steady? So even Brother Emmanuel that spoke, we did not faith it on emptiness. We faith it on what was on ground, which looked insufficient. So it looked insufficient, but like they always say, half bread is better than none. So you have something that is coming in. You can say, okay, even though my income can be 1 million today and 1 naira tomorrow, but at average, I can talk about say 50K or 100K at average monthly. So when you say, oh, this is the average, worst case, then you can talk about, yes, I have a stability financially. So over the years, I've proven it that no matter how high or low it comes. So at least in my year of plenty, I must have saved for the year of famine. So from there, I will have said, averagely, I'm always at this level. So when you have that, then you can say you are financially matured. Then the spiritual is, you are also looking at, am I capable to hear God and understand God and be able to tell what God is saying about my home, where God is leading us? Because the man is always a visionary for the home. So are you the kind of man that will be able to say, this is the next place we are focusing? Or the man that will sit and say, the woman should tell you where to go next? So, that there must be balance. I want to rest it there.
Thank you. On the issue of having a stable income, you mentioned that the man now said, like he does not have a stable income and now asking if he should venture into marriage. Yes, at least one of the two. If the man did not have a stable income at that time, I think the woman should, at least like my husband mentioned, they should have something to. Don't wait though, and someone say, yes. And now, well, to some ladies will say, my money is my money. I think the one that understands will release her money now. So the man may not have a stable income at that time, but at least one person, say the wife, should have a stable. It is advisable that the woman should have a stable income. Not that the man will depend on the woman this time around, but in case, at least so that there can be a bailout.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. I would like the congregation to prepare their questions, as it would also be time for you to ask your question. Yeah, this question says, as a lady in her 30s already, I'm engaged to a guy, and we have been engaged for 2 years. My man has proposed for over a year now, but he doesn't want to discuss wedding. Anytime I bring it up, he says I shouldn't worry about it, that soon he will do the needful. What should I do? Because I don't want to pressure him as I don't appear desperate, so as I don't appear desperate and put him off. Did I take the question again, ma'am? Okay, this one says, as a lady in her 30s already, the lady's already in her 30s. I'm engaged to a guy, and we have been engaged for 2 years now. My man has proposed for over a year now, but he doesn't want to discuss wedding. Anytime I bring it up, he says I shouldn't worry about it, that soon he will do the needful. What should I do? Because I don't want to pressure him, so as I don't appear desperate and put him off.
Well, I think we should first diagnose. Something might probably be putting him off, one, or might give him a delay. Something must have been, but there is something behind him delaying in proceeding into marriage. So let's diagnose, probably to find out what is going on. If it is finance, well, I don't know. Maybe you should pray. We should pray and also talk to some people. I mean, to the lady now. So, one, let me not just help them. One, diagnose what is happening, the reason behind him not wanting to get married. So the next thing, maybe the lady should. I don't know.
But I don't know.
It's kind of. Why I said I don't know is because for him to have proposed in the first place, yes, he should probably have marriage in view. Sure, you understand? So that was why I said maybe we should first diagnose what is going on. It could be fear.
I want to, maybe there's another one that is waiting for. So we just want to, a bed in hand is what. Anyway, I also want, okay.
Maybe there's another one. Is he a non-believer? I don't want to believe this person is a non-believer.
Let me quickly chip in something. Please, audience. I had two words in the question that I think should be clarified. Engaged, proposed. Which one is engaged? Which one is proposed? Because in the real sense of how things should be, I should propose to her first before I say we are engaged. So I don't know how it has turned the other way around. So when I started as a friend to this beautiful lady beside me, we've been friends for a while. And I have prayed and prayed through before I got convinced that she is the one and I should move forward and propose. So before the time of proposal, all we were just friends. She was nobody special than any sister in the church to me. So, but at the point of I coming to say, will you be my wife? Will you marry me? That is the proposal. And that is the day and date that I pick as the beginning of our engagement. So it should be proposal before engagement. Not engaged, then propose. We're mixing things up. That's my own. So let's not look at it the social media world. Let's look at it the Bible or Christian practice. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I think, the person says, as a lady in attendance, that she's engaged. Maybe the engagement could have been friends before, just as you said. But the proposal.
Sorry, let me adding to what Reverend Israel said. Yeah, I think it's the concept, or the social media concept of proposal, that is the issue here.
Yeah.
What we believe is, it is when the guy brings the ring and says, will you marry me?
Yeah,
that is proposal to the contextual world. But that is not the biblical standard. So the engagement is a process But the point where the guy comes, walks up to the lady, like he explained, that's the proposal. Because for a Christian, you don't engage with the intention of the 50-50 option. Will I get married, or I just want to try? That's not the case here. So when we say you are proposing, you are convinced by every standard. Spiritual standard, physical attraction, and the likes. That this is the lady the Lord is leading you to. Then you propose. That process, or from the day of proposal, you have started the engagement. So if the question here is, you are engaged for 2 years, it's assumed as well that he has proposed for 2 years. That is my interpretation of that question. So I don't think we should still.
Yeah, I think that's clear enough already. So I think the issue here is the social media concept already. So let's assume that guy had made his intention known for 2 years that I want you to join with me and all of that. And after a year, brought out the ring, to do official proposal. And the lady now is saying that he's no longer talking about marriage plan and all of that. Now, I also want us to kind of focus on the side of saying that she doesn't want to pressure him. Now, when a guy is not, coming forth, is it wrong for the girl to pressure him?
I don't want to use the word pressure, but this is what we do with courtship. You talk about everything. So there should be open. So if the guy has reasons why he's not taking steps towards getting married officially, they need to talk about this. Oh, okay, finances is my major issue. Probably a character from you is my major issue. So she should not be void of reasons why the guy is not ready to take that step. So what we do in courtship is talk. Discuss anything you can discuss. So I don't think discussing with the guy, like, okay, what's the reason? Give me reasons why you're not taking this step and the like. So I don't see that as pressure, or that is dependent on the number of times she has raised that issue. But once you have a discussion with, what is the reason? You guys should talk. So you know where the issue is. So tell you whether you should take a step backward, or you tell you the next line of action. I think that's just the talk.
But now the guy is not talking. Just saying, don't worry.
There's something is wrong. You should be open. Say reasons why you're not taking that step. There's nothing to hide. Yeah. There must be reasons for you not taking that step.
Or maybe he has seen a red flag.
Okay.
That's what is making him.
So he's reconsidering.
I have a practical case of this. I think Alex and Marcus knows the person that I'm talking about. He used to be our neighbor. Then I don't want to mention where we went for our missionary journey. She's engaged to a guy. This guy has 3 houses in that same city for 3 women. So, and she, according to the story, is this my neighbor is the person the guy wants to actually marry. State house of whatever, and then each time the lady brings up the issue of when are we going to marry, it ends up in serious fight that even 1 week they might not talk. At least, imagine, let's say that was 2019, that was the last time we spoke. As at last year ending, that I was still there, they are still the same way. No marriage yet. So, and I told her then that you are engaged to a time waster. As at that 2019 that I was talking, they've been engaged for 5 years. So, count the years. And my question is, what are you doing with such a man? There are time wasters like that. That's why I said earlier that the Bible says, therefore shall a man, not a boy. So, such a man, even though he is of age, and imagine this man we're talking about is a bit older than I am. And yet will refuse to have a woman in his house and will not be willing to talk to anybody. Every effort the lady made, maybe to introduce him to me so that I can cancel whatever, he would not give in. So, for me, if you are my sister, I will tell you, pack your load and run. It's better to be without a man than a man who hates you talking about marriage.
Just adding to that, even in this our contemporary world, the analysis of this question is clear. The mentality of this proposal that we also have, as bad as it is, the question then will be, what did you propose for? Even in this ungodly concept, the question will be, what did you propose for? Because even if it's a case of charade, let's do official, show them the ring. The intention is for marriage. And then you don't want to talk about marriage. I will say clearly, first, I'm not sure the guy is born again. You might not like that, but that's the bitter truth. If it's not, then it's obvious that he just wants to waste the lady's time. So, or maybe the lady has been looking forward to the proposal, that's why he just did it. It's just for the doing sake. Because you can't tell me that you officially gave a ring to a lady, and then you don't want to talk about, like he said, you just hooked you just hook the person down. Like I've always said, there's this joke of when you see a wedding advert and they say Emmanuel hooks woman, that means now just one error. Don't make an hook. But if it's wet, yes, it was official. But when you see hooks, just on the lighter mood, you are just tying the lady down. No other person can come to her. You don't have any business as far as marriage is concerned. So it's just a time waster, as the case may be.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. People have done over justice to the question. So I think it's just straight up. He doesn't want to talk about when, so that you don't waste your time. Just move on. Even though it might be hard, so please try. All right. So please, I want us to look out for questions online. If you have any questions, please just let us know. Media, just reach out to us and let us know so we can take them. Any questions from the audience? Joshua, I think you were raising your hand before. Joshua, any questions? You are okay, ba?
All right. So I think I'll just ask this question as sort of a two-in-one thing, right? So the first question is, because clearly stated, and we might want to ignore it, but we know that the proposal, when I say proposal, I mean the Gen Z's version now, the ungodly version. All right? We all know that is the wrong whatever, but yeah. So here goes my question. What should I think you said proposal is the making intentions known, and then engagement is the will you marry me, Abi? Okay, engagement is the process. Oh, engagement is a process. Nice. Okay, so all right. The part where I'm going to is this popular version in our generation, where you have, flowers and all of that. Flowers and all of that. One person is playing violin, all that drama, and then go and buy ring. And you're doing all of that. That's important. What is that one? Is that one engagement? Or is that one proposal? Or that one? What is that one? Number one. Number two. What is that one? Then, also when you're answering that one, help us to answer the should you need that or should you not need that? Then, hallelujah, amen. So then after that, I think the second question is, how long should the engagement process last? I know that there's no mathematical time, but I'm saying give us like a minimum, maximum, something like that. So a range. I know that there's no mathematics to it,
Some people 6 months, some people Lord of the Rings 10 years. But we get the point. Thank you. I like that time question, but I know somebody now who is in our 10th year with this guy, and there's no hope of marriage. 10 years, a friend of mine. So please.
I think that Gen Z proposal, it depends. It depends on. Wait now, I did not do it for me because I'm not a freak. I think the man will know. So I did not. I didn't do it for me. Yes, I know a friend that did for. Do you get? I think you need to know your wife. You know if she will like it or not. If I wanted it, this guy go do amo. Yes, that's the truth. If I wanted a proposal, no, it depends. It's just to make the woman happy. You know, it's just for the fun. It's for both parties very important. Like it's an important thing to them. But for friends around, people say yes, no, just to make people happy. But instead, if I wanted it, trust me, a man will know his wife to be. And I'm not that kind of person. Not my thing. But no, another lady will really want it.
I don't know why David asked that question. But of a truth, my wife was asking me here now that is that concept, is it ungodly? I would say that it depends on how and why you are doing it. Your reason makes it either godly or ungodly. But there's no godly. I don't want to say it, but it's your reason that determines if it's ungodly. But I feel most of the time we just want to use it to catch the fun and make ourselves happy. That's the idea. My wife has said now that if she wanted it, but the truth of the matter is, it also depends on the man. If he likes it, my person, like Joshua was asking, I would want to understand your curiosity. What's it about? What does it affect? What does it change? Those concepts are those things that runs through my mind as well. If I don't do it, does it mean I don't love the lady? If I do it, does it mean I love her more or love her less? It's just a game of you want to have. Many a times it's just for the fun of it. Let people just see that I also did something. Let my wife or my wife to be also know that I'm a man. But it doesn't make you less or higher than what you are. First is, are you mature? I think he asked a question in that light. Are you matured enough to even do this thing that you want to go into? So if you are, it's not until you now go and give the girl a ring and say, marry me, before you know that you are in for a business of an eternal business. So for me, I think it's relative. If you want to do it and you both are in alignment and you know that your spouse will like it, you are free to do it, but be cautious of how you do it so that you don't corrupt the process or corrupt the whole thing in the process.
He also asked if we should kneel, so he said he can make a comment on
that one. Now, that controversy of kneeling or not kneeling, it still depends on the ego of the man. Somebody like me might not kneel. Not because, listen, get it right. Not because I cannot kneel, but because I feel if I kneel the kneel, what will change? That's just the angle I come from. Even the idea of ring, did I give you one? Not because I will give you on the wedding day. So that one now, when I give you on that wedding day, where will you put that one? You throw it away. That's my own mindset. That's my mindset. See, it's not a standard for anybody. So get it right. It's not a standard for anybody. As far as you can afford it and you enjoy the euphoria, I think you are free to.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I think
Fine.
Sister may ask you that is it actually biblical? May I have searched the scripture? Yes, one came to mind now. That is it nose ring or ring that Eliezer gave Rebecca. So what do you call that? I don't know. So maybe with that, let me say with that, Sha. So you answer if it is scriptural or not. But if your lady wanted it, you can do it. But me, I see it as a waste of money actually. Because that money, the people that will come there, so don't mind me, if, like I said, if she wanted it, do it. Because the money you will spend, someone just told, okay, a colleague in the office told me, he told me he was going to one renowned hotel around there that the friend want to do a proposal for the fiancé or something. And I asked her, how much did they spend? He mentioned, I said, please tell them to come and buy health insurance. They said, hey, you. Because me, I see it as a waste of money actually. Because that money that you will spend there, give me now, let me do business with it. That's me. You don't need to follow my school of thought actually. So that's me. So if she wanted it, you can do it. I don't think there's something wrong with giving ring actually. It must not be, it doesn't have to be expensive ring. At least there are at least 2,000 naira ring. If she likes, yes, now. There are some. If you order now, that is not get black. Yes. And you won't let her know the price now.
Oh, then 2K ring.
If she, well, I don't know. Well, it depends. Okay, forget about the money now. Forget about the price now. Forget about the price. If she wanted it, please, maybe you should do it. But my husband here did not give me a ring. And I didn't, because of that, tell him, go to, sure you understand. So, but my stand is the money that you will spend there, why not keep it and invest with the money? At least the wedding day is still coming now, and you will still gather people together to come and eat. So, why waste money?
So the ring on the wedding day is what is important, is the thing you actually need, is what you will actually wear for maybe the rest of your life, provided you don't grow fat. So, but the engagement ring is only something temporal. So no matter how long the engagement is, on the wedding day you are getting a new ring. So whatever, I don't know, because even with our culture, let's take note, this thing is not actually our culture. It was borrowed. So, and check from history, who are the people doing it? So if it's not within our culture, let's be careful how we embrace or imbibe. So it's what we call, the sociologists will call cultural diffusion. So, yes, it's beautiful. We're not against it. But why go the extra mile? Some ladies would not even accept that the guy is serious with wedding if he has not done that. That's where we start having problem. So if he needed to save so long to buy you the type of ring you want, even to buy 18 karat ring now, you know how much it's worth. Let alone all the ladies now craving for diamond ring for engagement. So I don't know if you know how much they sell diamond. So, except you want a fake diamond. So, if you have to go all that extra mile, and then, don't forget we're still talking about the wedding day. We have not even gotten to the day itself. It's preparation for the day. So, where I am concerned is the wedding night, and then the marriage itself. Because all these things you are talking about determines how the night of the wedding will look like, and determines how the marriage itself will look like. Imagine both of you are borrowed, or the guy has borrowed so much in order to give you the dream wedding ceremony. And then, as you get to your honeymoon, you suddenly discover no money, you are owing, and there is no food. Will the wedding night be sweet? And will that marriage be sweet? So it is not proper to start a journey, a lifetime journey, on the foundation of debt. So you are owing 10 million because you borrowed for wedding. You are owing 30 million because you borrowed for wedding. So you want to spend how many years, first few years or months of your wedding to pay back loans? It is going to stress that marriage and it might break. So if I can't afford it, I shouldn't copy those who can afford it. So I should know the person I'm engaged to. And sincerely yours, I see that thing as nothing than we bring the world into the church. So I want to do it the way everybody is doing it. Why should I follow trend? Why can't I create my own trend? I was telling my wife now that I watched one online on Facebook. The guy was wearing jeans and shirt and put a jacket on it. And the lady was wearing a simple gown too. And a big church auditorium. But all they have there is the organist playing and the priest that is waiting for them in the front to join them. No crowd. So only the people that want to marry. Why can't I do it like that if that is what I wanted? Than to say you bring everybody. Why must Iyalele or Kon know that I want to get married? By the time you post it on social media, you have invited both enemies and friends. So you have brought all of them in. That's for me. I will even say it's even fair that they did not know you proposed. That everybody, the whole world knows. Because once you put it on, you can't do that without posting on social media. So once you put it on social media, you are telling everybody. So maybe one girl that has been hiding down your bobo before will start praying that your wedding will not work, so that she can gain the guy back. You've gained an enemy by your proposal. So anything, I might sound strange, but sometimes, like was it Muhammad Ali or who that has the daughter, when the issue of dressing half nude was popular, the father asked her, it was the girl that was talking, that have you ever seen gold in the public, raw gold, on the surface? The girl said no. That whatever is precious is discovered. It's not always public. So why not also make that your ceremony to be something to be discovered, not something is it proposal we're talking about? That your proposal to be something discovered, not something to be publicized. And treasure it and manage the few people that knows, than trying to manage a whole crowd that is aware you are engaged. That's where me, I have issues. Of course, we will start telling people after I propose. At least after I proposed to her, I went and, in fact, before I proposed, I told her pastor I was going to propose. I told my own pastor I was going to propose. I told my parent I was going to propose. I told my friend that is praying with me. I told my siblings. So even those ones alone, have I not told some people? And these are people who can join me in prayer. So when we were to marry too, it's the same set of people that will guide me and counsel me and help me to plan the wedding day properly, so that I will not do what I'm not supposed to do or leave something undone. So this is my own view of this proposal thing. So pardon me if I am a cake.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll be moving on. Okay, question. Okay, I had the timeline. He said, how long to them? And the engagement plan?
1 year. 1 year. And we say maximum, advisably, 3 years. Advisably. So between 1 and 3 years, you should get married from the day of proposal. And we have corrected the proposal and engagement now. From the day I propose to the day we finally marry, the wedding day proper. 1 year, and the 1 year is just because we want to carry everybody along. Before you do 3 to 6 months premarital counseling in the church, before you file notice to the government, before you tell your uncles, aunties, and mommies and daddies you want to marry, before you put all of those things together, you might have gotten to 1 year. We have seen 3 months, and they are married till today. We have seen 6 months. It's possible. But we say, so that everybody is aware, let's give it 1 year space, and not more than 3 years. If it's more than, the guarantee that sin will come in is high. You can ask those your friends that have been engaged for long, how many of them can boldly say there was nothing? In the olden days, when courtship used to be by letter writing, there was no phone and co. They can be courting for 10 years. Because even before they see themselves, maybe it might be once in a year or once in 2 years. So it's unlike today that you have media that can bring you together within a split second. So it shouldn't create too much tension before you get married. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers, Tazama. So my question is still a little bit based on the proposal aspect. So naturally for me, before I agree to something, I would like to balance it with the scripture. And my question is, okay, let's say, because the way we are taught is that you go and meet the lady, you tell her your intention, and she's probably going to go back, pray to God before she gives you your answer. But the way the proposal that everybody has been talking about works is, you come with a ring, do parara, and then you ask her the question and she has to answer on the spot. So my question is, how does she pray in those seconds? Because if we are saying, yes, you can come with a ring and ask, will you marry me? And then she says, yes, where is the place of her asking God or something?
All right, okay. For people who do it within the Christendom, definitely he would have proposed without the ring, made his intention known to the woman. She would have prayed about it and given him a response. The official one is the parang is just the, should I call it camouflage, or just the parang thing, you get. But the real thing has been done behind though. But those people, social media, where you see say yes immediately, is not God's standard. But for those the kingdom, Christendom that want to do that proposal, kneeling down, they knew their hands are right from the onset before starting that courtship or whatever. So I think.
Thank you very, very much, Ma. Okay, so there is another question here. Okay.
The Gen Z proposal. So what if the girl was actually thinking of, I'm no longer interested in this guy. And then here the guy has come with a surprise proposal. So some feel embarrassed if the lady says no, and then the world starts accusing one person and appraising the other. So you have caused a chaos. That's me. In fact, even looking outside the biblical standard, if we look at even that, the world kind of view, you have not given the lady a good opportunity to say, do I really want to? Is it a journey I want to embark into? So because there is pressure everywhere, everybody is just saying, say yes, whether you know them or not. They are saying, say yes. Maybe the guy has successfully gathered your enemies together, and they are already saying behind the saying that God don't catch them. Say yes, you don't do for life. So maybe they knew that this guy, once you say yes to him, that's the end of your future. And then you knew yourself that you shouldn't say yes to the guy. And then the guy has come with a surprise proposal, and you are right there in the public, and everybody is shouting, say yes, say yes, say yes. And due to pressure, you will go and say yes. And then you enter one chance. You will now come to church to be praying or asking a pastor to pray for you. What prayer are we going to pray when you see Koto in the front and you open your two eyes and enter inside it? So those are some questions I raise about those public proposals, because I feel even for the world there, it should be something discreet. It should be something that I have chance to, think. Let me regurgitate. Let me process. Let me look far and wide. Okay, the journey so far, the friendship so far. Am I willing to go ahead with this guy? So I should be able to look at that as a lady before I say yes to the man.
Say something. That should now just give us a clarity of the fact that, you see, this our Gen Z proposal is not a good standard. Why? That's like we said. If you had the proposal generally from beginning, and you approach the lady, and the lady had told you, give me time to think about it, and she went to pray and do all of that, and she's able to come back to tell you yes, you have started the engagement. So the essence of coming again to do a proposal, and when the girl says no at the spot, it will mean that all the while, the engagement that you've been having was just a game, was a play. So please, I just want us to learn from there that this is not the standard. So let's not use it to guard our thoughts or our intentions. Let's do it the right way as expected, so that we don't put ourselves under undue pressure or put the lady in question under unnecessary pressure.
Thank you very much. I think we have dwelt a lot on proposal, so there should not be any confusions anymore. So probably this will be our last question for today. I think our time is very fast. So let's just take the last question. So we have someone who is saying that our wedding is in a few months' time, and my wife P and her family are the ones planning every single thing, even the clothes I will wear, and how I'm supposed to walk, where me and my people will sit, and all of that. Like, I literally don't have any say, even though I'm financing 80% of the wedding. So, what can we do?
Don't be offended. The guy in Amumu. That's the bitter truth. I'm not saying that you can go and you fault or whatever they are planning, but if you are bringing in something to the table, you should have a say. It shouldn't be that they determine everything for you, all in the name of blind love. I don't believe that is a good position to be as a man. But at the same time, there is what we call understanding. If what they are planning still aligns with what I know is that marriage is for you and your wife. I don't even know why your parents should be the one planning your own marriage or wedding for you. For me, you have your money to spend. The marriage is yours. So it's what you say you want to do that they should help you do. But we have our parents these days that will tell you, marriage, especially from so there should be that place of understanding. At the same time, you and your wife should have a position. Clearly that you are on the same page. And so whatever they are bringing or planning should either find its own footing in the plan that you guys are having. And if there is a case of no, then you have that place of balance where you can compromise and be able to set that balance for both parties. But for me, I won't bring the finances to the table and I won't have a say. I'm sorry. It's not a good.
With or without you putting the finances on the table, the woman should be able to portray her husband in the presence of her family as her head, and you're able to show that yes, she's ready to be submissive to this person. So you come together, you discuss, and you table it with your parents. Okay, you can buy a lasso. So there can be moderations here and there, but both of you coming together. So if by parents will determine the way it's going to work, it got to that guy do see that. They will determine everything that runs in that runs in the marriage. So we should be careful of the way you portray. I'm talking to the lady in question now, and the man should take a stand. If there is something you want, take your stand. This is what I want. I didn't want a very big marriage. But my husband was able to, and we had to reach a compromise, balance here and there, you know. And with or without you bringing the money to the table, the man must be accorded that respect. You know. Yes, I think so.
Well, maybe they are event planner in their family. That's just on a lighter mood. Well, we know someone that similar thing happened to. In summary, both of them, they are no longer together because the mother-in-law will always dictate terms and conditions to them, even though he's the one dropping the old stand or else.
It's a pity we're just entering the wedding day itself and our time is gone. But I want to drop this. I think it is cultural blackmail that we have this statement in our society. And I feel as younger generation, you should start thinking of how am I going to set it right? That it's our parents will come up and say, I want to do wedding for my children. The right thing should be, my children are getting married. So, even you as parents should be a witness at the wedding, not a determinant of the wedding. So, why I call it cultural blackmail is because in this part of the world, most times those parents are the ones who have more money, and they are the ones who have friends with more money. Like one day, we were analyzing some things together, and we discovered that our parents, through our wedding, make more money than we that we are getting married. That shouldn't have been on a normal day. So, and you know, as Emmanuel was talking, I remembered Pastor Demola, you know, in that time, he said when his father wanted to determine the date of his wedding, he said he asked the man a simple question. Sir, are you going to finance the whole thing so that I answer? And the man said no. He said, so if you can't finance it, then let me determine what happens. So I pray for men here or for guys. I pray that God will have empowered you financially enough to take care of every bill to your taste on your wedding day, so that you will have the final say, not a robot following. Because this scenario, I call that man a robot. He is programmed. It doesn't matter. He is programmed. So you drop the money, but yet there are people who are, no. It's a mismanner. And just like others said, even if you are not financing everything, you should be accorded that respect. And that brings me to another story that I remember. I can't tell, but even the family of the wife financing the wedding is also wrong. I'm saying another scenario. So, you know, sometimes when the family of the woman seems to be more financially buoyant, or the woman is more financially buoyant, and they want to get married quickly, and the guy is not able to come up with a wedding ceremony, and then sometimes the guy wants to get married, but because of the status of the woman and the family of the woman, they want to do a wedding that is fitting to their status quo. It's wrong. You are creating a problem in that new marriage. So everybody should be able to come down to what Brother Emmanuel said earlier, and Sister Ubi, that man, whatever he is able to put down, whatever his idea of, if it is only a sitting room wedding with 20 people that they can afford, no matter how big the family of the bride is, they must come to terms with that. That's when you have left that man a man. If you do anything contrary to that, you have demeaned or removed the title man from that person, that husband. So he's no longer the head. And that's why we now have so many irresponsible men multiplying. I tell some of those women, you make the man irresponsible. As long as you carry 80% of the budget of the wedding. You have made that man you have told that man that you are the man and your man is going to be the woman following. So if he cannot have the thing according to his own capacity, then he's not the man.
Sorry, I want to add, there's a question that is also in line with what you are talking about. I also just want to chip it in, so maybe you can, yes, you can just take it all together. Someone is saying that my man is from a well-to-do family, but he's not financially stable, and he does not accept help from his family because he says he wants his own money. So our wedding is coming up soon, and we don't have enough money. My man is saying that we should just plan with what we have. But why settle for less when we can have a family that's willing to help?
So if your man is saying, let's make do with what we have, just go with that. The man might, of course, part of him, it might be African ego. Part of him, it might be ego. But let's look at whether it's ego or not. Go with the man you are marrying. Go with his idea. Except you don't accept his personality, his ideology. So, who knows? He might have a better reason why he does not want his family influence in his wealth. So some might, it might just be they have made their money. I want to also go and make mine. So let him feel satisfied that I have fulfilled my vision, my dream. So don't impose another person's idea on him. Let's not forget this thing we call wedding is between the man and the woman who have made their intention known to live together as husband and wife. Every other person is a foreigner in that program. So only the two of them are the most important. So let's go with the ideology of the man and the woman who wants to marry, and let every other person join them to follow whatever. We have seen even to the extent of ordinary invitation card. Some parents or family will still want to dictate. This is the type of card we want. Are you the one getting married? So the person getting married should be able to state what he or she wants and what he or she can afford, not being given what to do. That's when you are in control of the wedding day. And then you can boldly say, even at marriage, you will be in control. Because some of these things, it will backfire on your marriage. Some of these things we're saying, all these external influences here and there, it will backfire, but you are not seeing it yet. I feel for such a man, that last man, maybe he has seen something similar. That's why he's trying to build a hedge around himself so that it will not come to his own marriage. So we need to understand from which point of view he's thinking from. But whether wrong or right, the two people marrying each other should be able to come to terms and make their stand known and go with their stand, and every other person follow. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very, 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 very much. Have we been blessed today? Have we been blessed today? I personally, I think I've learned a lot today. I've learned a lot today, and it's just that you don't have enough time to continue. But I want to appreciate everybody for coming. So that we have our guests also for blessing us. I mean, appreciate them. So that this few minutes has actually been impactful and enlightening. So I don't just know, maybe just one final encouragement or we are going to go. Let's just make one prayer. And so can you just pray for us? I mean, so we got to join some about that. So just give us a little prayer so we can close.
So, Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for how you have spoken to us tonight. And their prayer is that you will make us do what you have discussed.